Hello viewer, how you doing? Welcome to yet another amazing episode of Blackanese Courier, telling you why you should do business from China and how you should do business from China. Basically educating you on importing and exporting into China and out of China, right? So come with me as I explain this 10 benefits of importing from China. So before I go into the detail, right, I would like to point out a few things. Guys, it's okay to import from any country into any country. Let's have that on record. It's okay to import. No society would exist without importation from another country, all right? Where there's a bit of a drama or where there's an issue is when your export is below your import. That is when you're importing more than you're exporting, which we could find Nigeria to be one of those countries that are currently in that phase. But of course, it's always a phase. At some point, it will definitely level up or even go higher, right? So, but just have it in the back of your mind that it is okay to import. Another reason why I feel it's okay to import is importation builds entrepreneurs, right? So having said all this, it's time to get into the business of the day. 10 benefits of importing from China. Number one benefit is you are introducing new products to the market. When you import an item from another country into another country, you're basically introducing a new item or a different version of an item, or even the same item that currently exists, but in a different market. Okay, for instance, I have this perfume, right? You want to import this perfume into Nigeria. Possibly there's nobody that sells this perfume. The moment I come to China and I buy this perfume and I take it to Nigeria, I've introduced a new product to the market. When someone says he's introducing a new product, it doesn't have to be in huge quantity, guys. You could introduce in a very small quantity, but at the end of the day, you are still introducing something new to the market. Okay? So when you're importing items from China, your prices tend to be very, very, very low. And that is because there is a huge labor in China. There is existing manufacturing plants and companies. There is raw materials already here in China. So importing from China reduces your production costs compared to if you were to set up a factory or set up a manufacturing plant of the same product in your local country, right? So when you're importing from China, these guys already have it unlocked. They have it set up already. All you have to do is give them your code or give them your demand and they fix it up for you. So it's very okay to reach out to them and get these things done. If you say you want to set it up in your country, guys, right, you would have to plan for a very huge capital or possibly set up factories, set up staff, set up overhead costs. I mean, the list is endless, guys. But these guys already have it existing. All you have to do is tell them your demand and they fix it for you. So technically, importing from China would give you lower prices and lower costs. Third reason is you become a market leader or a first to market, right? And as a market leader, you determine the cost. You determine what you bring. You come to China where there is tons and tons of goods and services ready for you or available for you, and you will be the one to determine your price. You can buy an item for say 10 naira or $10, and you could decide to sell it at $50. Why? Because you are the person who introduced it to the market. You were the first to take it to market, so why not? China provides all qualities of products, guys. All qualities, from the least quality to the highest quality you can imagine. There is a manufacturing plant or there is a factory that is currently doing that. Okay, so it all depends on your cost. It all depends on your taste. It all depends on how much you are willing to put into that product. Okay, so whatever quality of product you're looking for, China has it on lock. Large quantities, no problem, guys. They can do from the least quantity, that's a single quantity, to hundreds of thousands millions. It all depends. For instance, you want to do, let's say, a phone pouch, right? This phone pouch, you could ask the manufacturer to give you 10,000 pieces, and he will be able to do that. All you have to do is give them time. They always have a workforce that are willing and able and experienced to do this. Sometimes they would have to hire in like ad hoc staff to add up to their in-house staff just to meet up with your time frame, but they are capable of doing any quantity you want. Number 6 reason: OEMs, ODMs, and MOQs. What does OEM means? Original equipment manufacturer. ODM, original design manufacturer. MOQ, minimum order quantity. For the sake of some of my viewers, I would have to do a separate video in the future about explaining in detail what it means to have OEM, ODM, and MOQs. Or subscribe to this channel so that you could be able to see when I do that video about ODMs, OEMs, and MOQs. But for the sake of today's conversation, right, OEMs are basically the original equipment manufacturer, right? Which means you as the client, you will tell them, okay, I like your product, but I want you to put my name on the product, right? So you are not altering the design, you're only adding your brand name to the design. Whereas ODM, which is original design manufacturer, you will come to them and say, okay guys, I see you make perfume bottles, but I want my bottle to be in this shape, in this size, in this design, and you give them a prototype or a design or a sketch, and they pull out the design for you. That is an ODM. Whereas an MOQ is minimum order quantity, which basically says you cannot order below this quantity. For instance, you want to make this small item. This small item, the manufacturer can tell you, oh, we can only make 10,000 pieces of this. And they do that because of the raw materials available. Sometimes buying these raw materials in a small quantity could be very expensive, which would affect your own price. So in order to meet your own price of cheap price or low price or affordable price, as you might want to call it, they would have to buy the raw materials in a huge quantity, which would mean you have to order in a huge quantity, right? So I will definitely do a full video later on about this to explain this, but in China, you are open to ODMs, OEMs, and MOQs, all right? Number 7 reason is taking advantage of the technology. China is way ahead in technology, guys. They are way ahead. They introduced the world to 5G, guys. So these guys are way ahead in technology. So why not take advantage of that, right? Your country might still be behind. You might have an existing technology system, but you might not. You definitely are not at par with China, right? So why not take advantage of that technology and do business with them? Save yourself the stress of having to do business or having to try out your own technology or your own system, whereas there's someone else that is already living in that system. All you have to do is prompt him or her to share it with you, and you're good. Number 8, quick production time. China is fast in production. As I mentioned earlier, they are open to hiring more ad hoc staff, which would reduce production time. Whereas you could manufacture in your country and say you want to make telephones, right? You want to make mobile phones, and your production time in your country would possibly be 10,000 phones a day. Whereas here in China, they already have a huge human workforce where they could hire ad hoc staff that would be able to manufacture 20,000 in a day. Do you see the difference, right? You are doing it in your country, but you're doing 10,000, and they're doing it here and they're doing 20,000 in a day. That would meet up your time. So they are always open to time frame. Give them, oh guys, I want this to be done in 3 days. Trust me guys, 3 days is 3 days. Most times. Don't quote me wrong. Most times. 3 days is 3 days. Number 9 reason, there are millions of factories to pick from. China has so many companies. I mean, so many companies. Walking on the street every day, you see at least one factory opening, or at least one company opening, or at least one business starting up. As one business is closing, another one is starting up. There are thousands and millions of businesses that are existing in China. So you have a variety to choose from. You don't have to be stuck with one supplier, or no, don't do that. You're limiting yourself to a lot of options. Do your research, look out for other companies. There are hundreds of other companies. Most of them are not online. Trust me, guys, most of them are not online. A huge part of them are offline, which would require you traveling down here. But that would be another video of its own. But for the sake of this video, there are millions of companies and factories that are here in China. Trust me, you would not want to tie yourself down with one manufacturer. And the last but definitely not the least, the 10th benefit. How can we talk about doing business with China without having to talk about the profit margin? You set the price, you determine the production quality, you determine the production time, you determine where and when they start and where and when they finish. At the end of the day, there is always the chance or the option of a huge profit margin, right? Whatever you're doing in this life, it needs to be profitable. If it's not profitable, then it's bad business, right? So every business in this life is out to look out for profit. So would this be profitable doing business from China? Yes. Would it be profitable importing from China? Yes. Would you make money if you import from China? Yes, you will. To sum this up, it's more of saying business from China or importing from China has so many benefits. I've only listed 10, and making money is definitely at the top of the list, which is number 10. So thumbs up to you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. I really appreciate you watching this with me or working through this with me. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the bell notification, so when I do other videos, as I mentioned, you will definitely get a notification that, yo, a new video has dropped. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that there's a new channel, or there's someone somewhere educating us and enlightening us about doing business from China. Until I come your way again, see you next time. Bye for now. I remain Naman Blackie. See ya.